So first off, please excuse the quality, sound, all that. My face. I'm sleep deprived, and I gotta go to work in a little bit. I needed to make this video. I don't even know what the fucking date is. August 5th, I think. I don't know. And so much, too much has happened. But the part that's getting to me is what I'm gonna share. So the Tangerine Palpatine decided to have the FBI agents that are supposed to be working like human trafficking and shit like that go through the Epstein files and redact his name. Not only his name, but the name of some others. And Ghislaine Maxwell has been given a sweet deal to cover Trump's ass. And she has been moved to a minimum security prison. A prison she's not even allowed to be in because she's a sex offender. And she's right next door to the state I'm in. And I know she's gonna walk. Trump's gonna let her walk. Trump wanted to give her a pardon last time. So we know he's going to have his ass covered and whoever else. And this is what MAGA doesn't seem to understand. It wasn't just Trump that we wanted to know if he was on the list or not. Whoever is on the list, whoever is in the files as a participant, that's what we want. We don't care if it's your guy, our guy. These people are criminal. They have caused serious harm. And the survivors of these crimes deserve fucking justice. Flat out. And I am tired of MAGA and the GOP pretending to be the ones that care about kids. Y'all don't care if they're raped. Y'all don't care if they're starving. Y'all don't care if they're being bombed. Y'all don't care if they're being poisoned. Y'all don't care if they're being mowed down in school. Y'all don't care if they're dying from cancer. The GOP does not care a fucking bit for children. If I was to judge a tree by its fruit, I would swear that the GOP hated children. They attack them at every turn, more than they attack the queer community. And the tariff thing. So there's been videos and reports coming out of Las Vegas. And it's bad. On a Saturday night at 1 a.m., dead. People are reporting a 50% decrease in their earnings. One tattoo artist lost 30% of his clientele because they're from Canada and nobody feels safe coming to America. We have warnings against us. And I don't know how true this is. I haven't looked into it yet, so don't quote me on it. But apparently people are being told to have $15,000 bail money. And now ICE is dressing as construction workers. These people are looking to get fucking shot. This ain't right. How are people supposed to tell who's fucking law and who's somebody taking advantage of the situation trying to kidnap people and traffic them? I'm trying to keep from raging. I'm so over this shit. I really fucking am. It's like my entire existence just about has been a fucking lie for the past few years. But we were told that the military would protect us, the Constitution, the nation from enemies both foreign and domestic. We were told that checks and balances would keep this from happening. And now we're expected or should have to, I don't know, do general strikes, and nobody can afford to put the money aside to do that. His tariffs are out of control. And I know Trump is a fucking idiot. Don't get me wrong. And I'm pretty sure his school had him pegged when he was in school. But we need to remember, he was best friends with Epstein. Epstein's ex-boss was floored by Epstein because he watched Epstein manipulate the stocks over the phone. Anybody who pays attention to the stock market knows that there could be some sort of disrupt, drop, spike, whatever. If the wrong person farts in the right place, if the wind blows wrong over here, or if there's a flood, there's no telling. The the stock market is more emotional than men claim women are. So Trump knows. Because if you think the only thing they shared was rape and girlfriends, no. They shared all their little fucked upness. And I guarantee you, Trump learned from Epstein how to manipulate the market. Because once that shit dips, whatever the wealthy people want to buy up, they can. There's even an interview with Trump. I don't know if it was early 2000, maybe 90s. It had to be 2000s, early 2000s, where he said he likes a bad economy because he gets to buy up stuff. He may be a fucking moron, but you don't have to be intelligent to be cunning. You just got to recognize opportunity and a target. And MAGA is an easy fucking mark. I I'm trying not to let it get me down. I'm trying. I'm trying to stay positive, not in a toxic way. You know, reality is reality. But I gotta be honest. Like, I'd be fine going and get lost in the mountains with a couple bottles of Jameson, a fat sack, and a few cigars, and just enjoy the peace and quiet until I get taken out by a fucking mountain lion or something, or start building me a little fucking homestead, whichever one comes first. And then there's always the going back and forth about who's to blame. Those that withheld their vote from Kamala, which I think it's a little unfair to put it like that, because Kamala was obviously the better choice, more experience, um, definitely more welcoming, that kind of thing. But it wasn't necessarily people had a problem with Kamala. It's the Democratic Party. They've been so used to the right being so shitty. Who the fuck wants to go throw their vote over there? So they did less and less. They even moved further right a little bit. All they touted was Wall Street. Well, Main Street looks like shit. And the Democratic Party has a problem with blaming the voters all the time. And then you got people blaming non-voters. And I'm going to be real with you. I've noticed a lot of non-voters are completely unaware of politics. And apparently a lot of us voters are completely fucking unaware of politics on both the left and the right. More so on the right. So there's a few things there's a few issues with our the way we do things. So, Republican voters, this is a very common phrase I've heard said and read it written in the comment sections. Red till I'm dead. Like, it's not dawning on them that Republicans have been in charge of the red states for decades, and we have the worst numbers, the lowest IQs, the worst health, the most crimes, the most corruption. So they're tribal voters. They don't give a fuck if they're voting for a pedophile or a Klansman, just as long as there's a fucking R behind that name. So that leaves the Democrats having to stick with only the Democrats, because who the fuck else is there? No accountability for either party. Both have big donors. Both are owned by AIPAC for the most part. Both have shills. They're not the same as in horrendousness, but financial corruption and who they actually bend the knee to, yes, they are the same. For the most part. So you got that. And you got the Electoral College, which can throw everybody's vote out and they can pick whoever the fuck they want. And then to keep up with our politicians, we have to keep up with their donors, and we have to keep up with legislation. The problem with legislation, besides the fact they have it written a lot longer and so boringly in the most unnecessary ways, how the fuck do they expect people, especially in a country where over half of the people don't even read above, what was it, a 5th grade level? And you want them to vote? And you expect them to be informed, and they can't even read the fucking legislation, whether it's because they are unable to, because they don't have the literacy, or because they don't have the fucking time, because they're working 2 and 3 fucking jobs to make it. It's a popularity contest mixed with fundraising. It's a big fucking club, and we're not in it. Most of the people sitting up there being leaders, and we need to stop calling them fucking leaders when they're public employees, being leaders, don't even come from fucking working families. Most of those people have no idea what it's like to actually break a sweat outside of fucking yoga and the treadmill. No offense against yoga people, I just can't stand it. But anyways, the way we do things makes no sense. And we're sitting there throwing blame at each other, and we all have our part to play. I'm not saying we don't. But the truth of the matter is, the system failed. It failed from the beginning because it didn't include everybody. Or it didn't make the language so to where it doesn't fucking matter. Christian, atheist, Muslim, Jewish, you're all good. You're free to do your religion. You're free to live your heritage, your culture. Straight people get to marry. Gay people get to marry. It's not that fucking hard. Everybody has the right to vote. Okay. Every legal U.S. citizen has the right to vote. I am under no illusion that the world I envision can happen in my lifetime, much less ever. Or is it happen ever, much less in my lifetime? Whatever. I want us to start thinking together as a species about what really matters and what actually hinders us. I get it, we have a reward system in our brain or whatever, but real talk, we don't need capitalism to get shit done. If anything, it seems like capitalism is a fucking hindrance. And I get it, we have an unhealthy form of capitalism, but capitalism been trying to die out. There's a reason why it's trying to die out. It is limiting. It is stress inducing. And it is a fucking illusion that we created. We don't fucking need it. Capitalism is allowing Ghislaine about to walk. Capitalism got fucking Epstein that sweet ass deal. Capitalism is why Trump is draining our fucking coffers dry, claiming we don't have money for fucking healthcare and shit. But hey, let's build a gaudy ass fucking ballroom that is not needed, and let's put a fucking nuclear reactor on the moon. Fuck you, Duffy. I I I don't claim to have answers. I have ideas. And I'm hoping somebody hears something that I say, something that anybody says that says, hey, hold on. That idea didn't work, but maybe this might. Something other than the same old tired fucking shit that we have been going through for God knows how fucking long. And if anybody who has not looked into their history just the slightest bit, don't think for 1 second that Nazi Germany didn't happen for the same fucking reasons, to keep the wealthy wealthy. They didn't want us talking about communism or socialism, not because they would actually work, but because they didn't want us thinking outside of the box they wanted us in. They wanted us scared to think. And it's been very successful, because now we have a huge fucking chunk of our population that is worshiping this man, and they will not hold him accountable even if he is raping infant children from the fucking Oval Office live 3 times a week. They would let him do whatever horrible shit he wants. When he said, I can shoot somebody on 5th Avenue and not lose a bit of support, he was not bragging about their loyalty. He was bragging about their immorality. I wish everybody well. I would like to say, this isn't going to be as bad as we think, but I don't know. I don't see us doing enough to stop it. I don't think doing things the same way over and over again is going to change anything. And then Gaza. Don't even get me started on fucking Israel. I swear to God, Netanyahu, his entire regime, and every fucking AIPAC recipient are war criminals, and they need to go to jail. I don't give a fuck what side of the aisle they're on. I don't give a fuck who their name is. I don't give a fuck. If they clapped for that motherfucker when they brought him over here, if they okayed fucking support for him to do this genocide, they need to be in fucking jail. They're war criminals. Period. This went on longer than I meant. We deserve better. We can have better. We can do better. We can be better. But we gotta pull the rich man's dick out of our mouth. I don't know how we got started on that shit. I definitely wasn't brought up like that. You were always supposed to be aware of the wealthy man, because they're always full of shit and they're always fucking greedy. Y'all take care.